With the release of the new Saints Row game coming out on August 23rd, 2022, it's caused a rift among the fandom. One half of the fandom says that this is a good thing for the Saints Row series, and another one says that this is terrible and they don't know what they're doing. And that's where I come in. What I'm going to be doing today in this video is I'm going to be going through every single Saints Row game, not every single one, just the ones in the main canonical series, and I'm going to go through the stories and I'm going to try to figure out what exactly went wrong with the Saints Row series. Okay, starting with Saints Row 1. In Saints Row 1, your character is pretty much walking down the street and they get caught in a crossfire between the three local gangs of Stillwater. And Julius and Troy come to save you. And after this, you pretty much end up getting cantonized into the gang, and you pretty much put in work and you pretty much establish yourself to the point where you're second in command of the Saints. And at the end of the game, you end up meeting with this guy and you get blown the fuck up. I'm not even joking. That's what happens. And that's the end of the first game. And thus begins Saints Row 2. In Saints Row 2, the ending of Saints Row 1 pretty much correlates into Saints Row 2. Your character wakes up in a prison and they've been keeping him on life support because of Troy. Because plot twist, Troy from Saints Row 1 was an undercover cop and he ended up becoming chief, and he had your character on life support for I think about a couple of years. And then your character wakes up, and with the help from a guy named Carlos, he and the boss pretty much break out of prison, and the boss starts picking up the pieces where he left them. And the game doesn't make this like a storyline quest, but you can find out who got you blown up at the end of the game, and it ends up to be Julius. But the game doesn't really throw that in your face. It actually requires a little bit of brains. Like, you have to go into the police station in Saints Row 2, and then you have to find tapes and stuff like that. But I'm getting off track. What pretty much ends up happening at the end of Saints Row 2 is you pretty much end up invading Old Tor, and you end up killing Dane Vogel. The reason you end up killing him is because he ended up having an ulterior motive to get rid of the Saints and things like that. Like, he was pretty much being a double-crossing little bastard. So you ended up killing him, and that pretty much concludes Saints Row 2. Now, I'm going to say this before I start Saints Row 3. In Saints Row 1 and 2, you could do like goofy things on the side, like insurance fraud and like mini games that were pretty much like very, very like off of the story. But in Saints Row 3, this is where people feel like they took that and they kind of put it into the core game. And with the third installation came Saints Row the Third. I mean, man, when this shit first came out, it was dope. I mean, you had that fire-ass power trailer with Kanye West, and the CGI looked great. But then the gameplay differed from Saints Row 1 and 2 a lot, and the story took the same dip as well. Okay, so the first thing that the game developers did to piss everybody off about the third Saints Row, they were just sitting in their meeting room and they was like, you know, what can we do to piss off the fans? And they ultimately decided, you know what? Let's just fucking kill Johnny Gat. Johnny fucking Gat. In Saints Row the Third, Johnny Gat dies in an off-screen death while you're escaping this plane. And the reason that you guys are on this plane is because in the first mission, I kid you not, you guys are robbing a bank in Stillwater, and for some odd reason, the bank was like rigged and the Saints got arrested, and then this guy ended up showing up. I don't even remember his name. He had white hair with the two sexy ladies on his side, but he ends up showing up and he pretty much gives you an ultimatum, and he's pretty much like, hey, I'll let you guys go if you give us most of your money. This had to be what the video game developers requested themselves to bear making this game, because what in the fuck happened, dog?
What happened?
We got arrested.
No, to us. Burke's right. We traded our dicks in for pussies. Seriously. Movie deals, commercials. Saint's name used to mean something more than body spray and some ass-tasting energy drink.
Our brand's worth a shitload of money.
Dog, in the first mission of Saints Row 3, you're jumping out of a fucking helicopter onto a penthouse and you're shooting it out like you're in the fucking Matrix. Like, dog, there was never any type of missions like that in Saints Row 1 and 2. Like, they would have like outrageous missions, but you were never doing shit like jumping out of a fucking helicopter and doing like 15 cartwheels. You would always be like walking or storming up a building or coming down a building and shooting. It was never like that. And on top of it, they want us to treat the shit like it's natural. Like, what? And then after that, they give you a fucking rocket launcher. And then after they give you the rocket launcher, you storm the fucking military base and you get an anti-locking missile like a fucking laptop. Like, who was making this mission? And did I mention that all of this is in the first 30 minutes of the video game? And get ready for this right here. You want me to tell you your two adversaries for this game? The fucking military and a goddamn wrestler. What? And this time in the story, they give you a choice for your ending. Take out the military from framing you as terrorist or kill a fucking wrestler. Now, when you take out the military, you'll be saving Shandi and Viola. But when you kill Killbane, you get nothing. So I don't even know why you would pick that choice. And the boss, when he's saving Shandi and Viola, he makes a comment about them not being... Like, dog, the Saints are... Do you not remember your events from the first and the second game? Blowing up airplanes and storming Ultor and... You are... And that's gonna pretty much conclude Saints Row 3. But boy, oh boy, wait till I start Saints Row 4. This is just Volition just kicking the damn coffin at this point, because the game's already dead with Saints Row 3. Okay, so in the first mission of Saints Row 4, get this now, you're on a Mission Impossible mission where you have to stop a nuke from getting launched. A fucking nuke. Do you see how far we've gone off the track? Like, the train's on the fucking dirt and it's just still going at this point. And your character ends up stopping the goddamn nuke, right? And you're like, oh, okay, this is odd, but okay, it can't get any worse than this. Your character is the fucking president. How did you elect a domestic terrorist as the president? Oh boy, it doesn't get no fucking better from here. During the press conference, you get invaded by aliens, and then after that, you're stuck on a spaceship in space, so it's literally the Saints on the fucking moon at this point. And then after that, you end up throwing yourself into a simulation where you go back to the 60s, and then you do all of this other stupid shit, and then you end up killing the big alien at the end of the game, and that's it. Do you see how fucking ridiculous that story sounds? And it actually passed the fucking writing board. Who signed off on this story? This is terrible. I also forgot to mention in this game that your character has fucking superpowers, and you can damn near not even die in this fucking game unless you want to. And then comes Gat Out of Hell. I'm probably just gonna skim over this shit because it is fucking ridiculous. Here's Got Out of Hell in less than 10 seconds. Johnny goes to hell, Johnny meets Satan, Johnny goes to marry to Satan's daughter, and Johnny kills Satan, and then Johnny marries Aisha. Game over. And now we finally arrive to the Saints Row that is set to release this year. Just titled Saints Row. And off the rip, why are the gangster characters, why do they look like they're hipsters? And the first line you hear the boss say is, no, just look at the fucking trailer.
Hey, asshole! Get the fuck away from my friend.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
Now, I do just want to say that this game has already been criticized for quote-unquote being woke and things of that nature. And I can understand where most fans are coming from, because coming from games that were gangster and then you slowly transition into this wacky nonsense, I mean, it kind of feels like a slap in the face if you really think about it. And from the looks of this, the customization is like A tier, close to S tier. Like, the customization is very good in this game from the looks of it, but I don't know, man. If you're gonna try to rely on customizations and things like that to carry your game, then the game's not gonna get far. Like, I want to see what the story is like. The customization is cool and shit like that, but if you don't have a story, then what do you have the customization for? And yeah, if I were to rank all of the Saints Row games out of like 10, Saints Row 1 would be 7 out of 10. Saints Row 2 would be an 8 out of 10. Saints Row 3 would be a 5 out of 10. Saints Row 4 would be a fucking 3 out of 10. Got Out of Hell doesn't get a score. And as of right now, I just can't even rank Saints Row 5 because, you know, there's no actual, like, you know, story gameplay and shit like that where I can actually determine if it's going to be good or not. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe or like the video, whichever one gets my channel to get recommended on fucking YouTube. And yeah, it's been Kid Sting.